I think Joe Abercrombie is trying to kill me. No, like seriously, what else would you define this other than malicious intent? Okay, let's get into this monstrosity that's happened. Joe Abercrombie is an incredibly successful author, and he has written a lot of books, and I've been interested in his works for a while. And he's created this universe called like the First Law world, if you will, I think is what I've seen it labeled as. And it's made up of a bunch of smaller parts, which include the First Law trilogy, the Great Leveler series is what I've heard of, these like 3 standalone books, and then the Age of Madness trilogy. And I was really curious about buying these books, but my journey to figuring out which ones to buy has been a mess. And I can say that I still have not succeeded, even with all of my efforts. So this is what's happened with Joe Abercrombie. For those of you who've seen my videos, and if you observe behind me, I predominantly love hardback books. Correction, I really only like hardback books. Does this mean that I don't read series that are in paperback? No, I absolutely do, because they can be great. It's just I end up hardbacking them. For example, the Natural series, at least at the time in which I read this 4-book series, had no hardbacks. I don't think it has hardbacks still, but I like hardbacks because they last longer and are safer. So I hardbacked this entire series myself, and I created a beautiful little box set for them all to live in happily ever after. So I'm totally fine with hardbacking books that need to be hardbacked if I have to buy them as paperback. That's fine. It takes forever to do and it's exhausting, but it's doable, so it's fine. But I usually start by trying to look up hardbacks. What are the hardcover options? If I can get them, I'll get hardcover. Sometimes books just don't have hardcover editions. Other times the hardcover editions are so egregiously expensive that it makes way more sense to buy a paperback and hardback it myself than drop literally hundreds of dollars on a single book. No, thank you. So Joe Abercrombie. I'm looking into the First Law trilogy, and I'm going to start with the hardcovers, obviously. So I start with First Law trilogy, and the hardcovers that were available online that I could find were the 10th anniversary hardcovers, and they were this blue cover that doesn't have a dust jacket as far as I could tell. Honestly, it's kind of this like muted blue-ish color. I wasn't a big fan of these, but you know, honestly, if all of the books in his series in this First Law world were like this, I would have been satisfied and fine because at least they all match. This trilogy though, for all the other books in the series, it doesn't match. So I was like, great. Okay, so I moved on and I was like, let's go look at the Great Leveler 3-book standalones. And I found them and they came in, for the hardcovers, they came in these map-like books. Cool, interesting, okay. That doesn't match the First Law books at all. I went and checked out Age of Madness, which is the last trilogy, and those come in this white cover. Okay, all of these hardcovers, none of these match. Like, I could buy all of them as hardback, and none of these, this is not a cohesive 9-book series. At this point in time, I did not know about the 2 short story accompaniment books, one of which is published in a physical paperback copy, one of which is not. But at this point in time, I didn't know about that. I was just trying to find a 9-book cohesive journey here, and none of these hardbacks are doing it for me. Each of the trilogies on their own look cool, but, I mean, not my favorite for the First Law, but why do not, I mean, this doesn't fit. I was like, okay, pushing that aside, let's go look at the paperbacks. I look at the paperbacks for the First Law trilogy. There was only one version of the First Law trilogy in paperback that I could find, and it looked like this. Red, blue, and yellow. This is kind of reminding me of the hardcover from the Age of Madness that I had previously looked up. Interesting. So I went and I looked up the Age of Madness. Is their paperback match? Yes. They also have a red, blue, and yellow paperback. Hey, these 2 match really well together. So then I got all excited. I was like, let me go find the Great Leveler paperback. It's going to match, and then I'll just buy them all as that. Okay, the Great Leveler series comes as paperbacks that look like the maps from the hardcovers that I mentioned. And then I saw this like mixed book where you could get the paperback for the First Law trilogy and the paperback for the Great Levelers trilogy. Standalone, they're not trilogies, it's a standalone collection. And those would all be the same, but there isn't an Age of Madness that fits. The Great Leveler also had these like people on the book cover editions, and I'm not a big fan of people on my covers, but what bothered me even more is that the color scheme literally went green, blue, red. Why are we at green? Why is it out of order? All like both of the other trilogies were red, blue, yellow. Red, blue, yellow. Why? What is this? What is this? I was like, oh my goodness. And I started losing my mind. This is what I mean by earlier when I was like, Joe Abercrombie's trying to kill me. He's trying to kill me by killing my sanity. What is this? I go to Age of Madness. I'm like, okay, what other options are? I'm hunting around and I'm seeing these flag books. Oh, the Age of Madness has a different trilogy as well with different colors. These have flags on them. They're not bad, but none of the other books match a flag cover. Why? I'm just getting annoyed at this point. Honestly, this delayed me months and months and months from choosing to get anything from Joe Abercrombie because I was like, I want cohesion in my books. For those who saw my Stormlight archive, box set. You can tell that I really love the symmetry of a 5-book series. There's 2 novellas. They don't fit the same size at all, but they fit perfectly in this box set situation in their placement in the series, which was like, thank goodness, made me so excited. I'm ignoring this book because this is so annoying that this exists within the Stormlight archive. I do own it now. I'm not dealing with it. And it's not messing up my box set because I love beautiful symmetry box sets. You know who this reminds me of? This reminds me, I feel like I'm that guy from, what's that anime called? Soul Eater. You know that guy? I don't even remember his name, but I'm that guy. I'm like, symmetry! I want symmetry in my boxes and my box sets if I can at all. It drives me crazy when I have series that aren't like that. It's so annoying. A great example is over here as well. We have the Kiss of Deception trilogy. It's got a different name, I'm sure of it. And then we have the Dance of Thieves duology. Did you know this duology is actually part of a larger series that starts with a trilogy before it? It does. Observe how this trilogy is shorter than these books. Annoying? Yeah, but at least in that series, they have them all in a single box set that's for paperback. So if this really bothers me enough, I'll just get the paperback and convert them into hardcovers and they'll all be the same size. But does Joe Abercrombie have that option? Not currently. Anyways, we're getting into November, and guess what I see online for the holiday season in 2025? Both the First Law trilogy as well as Age of Madness both have gone on sale for the season, for the holiday gift-giving season, and I can't pass up a good online deal for books, especially box sets. I'm like, all right, let's get these. So this is the ultimate plan that I decided to do. I decided to go paperback because at least they have more of a chance of cohesion than the hardcovers did. So I decided to go paperback. I decided to get the red, blue, yellow, white covers for the first and last trilogy, and then in between I'll just stick the maps. And honestly, it's not perfect all the way through, but there is a level of symmetry here that I can work with, okay? I can make this work better than I can make the maps and the flag thing work or whatever. Like, I feel like this I could make work. It works. So I ordered the First Law trilogy. I ordered Age of Madness trilogy. They arrived. Here they are, beautiful. The red, blue, yellow works just fine. I think this is great. I think this is beautiful. I'm satisfied. Yay, they're all the same size. Fantastic. Love it. Makes me laugh that the author definitely knows about the fact that he's got non-cohesive books and is willing to put it on the box set. But alas, it is what it is. So I was happy. I got these 2 trilogies. Yay. And they're the same size. Then my wonderful, beautiful, fabulous mother got me the Great Leveler 3-book standalone books and the map version of those in paperback, and I was thrilled. Then comes Christmas. I'm with my family, and I get the box in my hand that I know is holding these books. And even before I open it, the first thought in my mind is, this isn't big enough. This definitely isn't big enough. And I pull out this lovely trilogy that still has this like binding on it so that they'll stay together. But I pull out, it's not a trilogy, I pull out these 3 standalone books for the Great Leveler, whatever that's what it was called. So here they are, and I'm holding them. I'm like, thank you, Mother. I'm truly grateful. They were like $60. Goodness gracious. She's so sweet. I'm so grateful that she bought them for me. They are too small. I know that they're too small. I get home after Christmas. I grab one of my other sets, and yep, what do you know? They are shorter and they're not as deep. Do you see that? Why? Why was that necessary? Why do you have to make it even more not working for me? I can't. Now it's okay. I'm trying to be patient. Am I losing a bit of my mind at this point? Yeah. Have I lost my mind arguably already at this point with all the books I bought? Probably. Regardless, I'm like, okay, for my Stormlight archive books, I box set a series with books of different heights. It's fine. I'm emotionally fine. Probably I'll just do something like this for that situation. Fine. Then a couple weeks later, I learn about the existence of the short stories, which include Sharp Ends. Oh, look at this, a paperback of Sharp Ends. There are 2 ways that I could get this besides getting it on Kindle. I could get it as a paperback like this. This fits with the red, blue, yellow editions for both the First Law trilogy and the Age of Madness. So, okay, it is going to mess up the 9-book symmetry beauty that I was going for. But okay, apparently this is supposed to be read after you read the First Law trilogy, and I believe also after you read Great Leveler, but before Age of Madness. I think I'd have to double check, but I think that's where the placement is. That definitely messes up things. I went and I looked just for the fun of it. The hardcover for Sharp Ends looks like this, which kind of honestly matches the aesthetic of the map version books, which is kind of pretty and cool. It's blue, but it's got like the cards and the coins. I don't know, kind of gives off mappy, kind of gives off like piratey. I don't know. I was like, I could work with this. But it's also like extremely expensive. And I'm like, okay, no. So we went with the paperback. The paperback comes in the mail, and what do you know? The paperback is shorter than the trilogies, the First Law trilogy as well as the Age of Madness trilogy, but this is also taller than the Great Leveler 3 books. Why, Joe Abercrombie? Why are all of your paperbacks different heights? What is the point of this? Why? Why? Oh my gosh, why? Like, I can't deal. I can't deal. I'm like, what is the point of this? Why are they all different heights? Why are they all different sizes? Why is there no cohesion? Is it just me? Am I just being overly picky here? Maybe I am. I don't know. I just feel like, why can't we have cohesion in one of the editions? Hardcover, fine. It's not cohesive. Whatever. Can we at least have cohesion in the paperbacks? I can't. Ah! I am going to do something that looks like this that I had at the beginning. I would pull them out and bring them on my lap again, but I'm going to drop them. So something like this, where we would have the First Law trilogy, the Great Leveler 3 standalones, the Age of Madness trilogy, and then put sharp ends on top. It's going to be somewhat symmetrical-ish. I think I can still pull it off because of, personal magic skills with hard backing and box setting. But, and then after all of this, extremely annoying, frustrating situation, Joe Abercrombie decided to do some special edition hardcovers for the First Law trilogy. Great, beautiful, gorgeous, extremely expensive. Still doesn't match any of the rest of the series. And the front covers don't even have the titles on them, which I just are not my favorite thing ever. And they're also way too expensive. So I'm like, okay, no. And then I also find out from somebody mentioning online that there is another short story collection for the First Law world called The Great Change and Other Stories, which is only available, I believe, on Kindle. There is somebody apparently selling it online for hardcover for $259. There's not even a picture associated with that. So I'm just going to assume that doesn't exist because I can't even deal with that. Ultimately, I'm so curious what the rest of you feel with regards to Joe Abercrombie's books in the visual presentation. I've already seen so many people talk about the books within the quality of the written words, and I know they're going to be great. I'm still so thrilled and so excited to read this series. I'm truly, truly excited. But I'm wondering if anyone else has been super frustrated about just the ridiculousness. Maybe it's just me, but the feeling of ridiculousness with these covers. Is there just why? Apparently also, on Amazon, it says there's going to be new hardcovers for the First Law trilogy that are going to come out in July. There's no picture yet for those. I don't know. Maybe those will match the Age of Madness hardcovers. But also at the same time, these hardcovers are so expensive. Anyways, losing my mind slowly. And there's still no discussion of Sharp Ends having a hardcover, as far as I can see online, that's within a reasonable price bracket. So I'm just like, I can't deal with this. But I'm also really excited about the series. So this is me just complaining about silly nonsense, if you will, but also valid frustrations. I swear, Joe Abercrombie, why? Why are you trying to kill my sanity? What do you gain from this? What do you possibly gain from driving me crazy? Anyways, as a quick book reading update, I am a little over halfway done with Mistborn. I'm reading this way faster than I thought I was going to. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I am nosediving into my master's thesis. I am a busy, stressed bee. And I genuinely thought this was going to take me longer, but honestly, I'm proceeding through it very quickly and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So the review of this will probably come sooner than I expected. I'll probably upload another 1 or 2 videos before I get to a review of Mistborn. But in the meantime, for my Joe Abercrombie book lovers, how have you coped? Are you coping? Are you in denial? Do you just not care? And it's me. Am I the one who's lost it? Be honest, people. Anyways, keep reading what you love, and I will see you next time.